Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the best gears in the game right now, starting off from the very worst all the way up to the very best. Going to give you guys the best brawlers to use those gears on, then also the best maps as well. So before we jump into it, make sure you're using the create code. That'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. All right, guys, jumping into the worst gear in the game right now, we have the health gear. So the health gear, I would say, in terms of value, is the worst gear inside of a game, just because it's only really good on the high HP brawlers like tanks. It's really strong on the tankier brawlers because you can gain HP so ridiculously fast, but it's not good on low HP brawlers. The main reason why is because it's not actually going to change the amount of time you fully heal up, because you've got such low HP, you're not going to get a lot of value. So that's what I always look at when I'm equipping gears on my brawlers, and the amount of value you can get into that matchup on the map, the mode, etc, etc. And health, only really good. I don't really use it too much at all, except for on a ladder. Like if it was in a competitive setting, I don't think there'd be really any brawler other than maybe Ash I'd actually use the health gear on. You could say it's somewhat underrated, but I just feel like I get a lot more value out of the damage gear, the speed gear, you know, all these other gears other than health. So again, tanks, the only brawler you can really use health on. So it's going to be brawlers like Ash, like Frank, Primo, 8-bit, every single tank basically above like 6,000 odd HP, you're going to get a lot of value with it. So, and also you're not really going to be using health on maps that are really bushy, because I'd rather just use like speed and damage on a tank on those bushy maps, because you can get a lot of value out of those both those gears. But that's going to be the fifth basically best gear inside of the game right now. Let's hop into number 4. All right, guys, jumping into the fourth best gear inside of the game right now, we have the shield gear. So the shield gear, if you would have spoke to me like a month ago, I'd have put it a little bit higher in the rankings, but as time has gone on, the shield gear has dropped off a little bit in the competitive meta, just because I feel like you get a lot more value out of the other gears as usual. So of course you're going to be using the other gears available. So with the shield gear, it can be really strong on those squishier brawlers. Of course they don't have a lot of HP, so giving them any bit of extra HP, which it is 600, which is quite a lot, it's going to really help them in those 1v1 scenarios. So mid brawlers is going to be really good with, because of course you want to stay alive for as long as possible. Those squishy brawlers like Bell, Byron, Spike, every single throw inside of the game, basically any brawler below 4k HP, you're going to be getting a lot of value out of the shield gear, which is pretty self-explanatory. Like I'm sure pretty much every one of you guys would have known that already, but the main way, well, the main times I actually use the shield gear is mainly on the maps with not a lot of grass. So you could use normally like the damage and the shield gear, and that'll be a really good combination. Like there's no point really using the speed or the vision gear if it's non-grassy maps. So you'd see most of the time that people will opt to use a damage and a shield combination. It's definitely a really strong combination. It's been one of the best combinations in the game for a long time, but there's been other gears that have triumphed them just a little bit. So we should be able to take down the Echo right there and score. So also as well, there's a game mode in particular which I see shield being used way more on than any other game mode. So knockout is going to be by far the best game mode to use shield on, just because of course you have 3 rounds per set, and you're going to get value out of that gear every single time you respawn into a new set. So well, not even a set, just a new game. Like you lose, no, it's a round, sorry, I'm just getting it completely mixed up. So every single round you're going to be getting a new well, the new gear, the new shield straight away, which is really nice, especially for those brawlers that going into the next round, say like a Bonnie for example, you've got your super going into the next round. You can imagine you get the gear on top of her first cannon form, and then when you launch yourself as well, you're going to give yourself an extra 600 HP to win that battle. It makes it near enough impossible for the enemy to do anything against you, because you've got like 5,100 HP, you're jumping onto them, you're just going to absolutely destroy them. So you can see how strong the shield gear can definitely be on gamers like knockout. Pretty strong on bounty as well, but as time has gone on, you only really see it being used, as I said, on knockout and maps that don't have a lot of grass. So that's a nice kill on the mortis right there. We're just going to try and heal up, because we should just be able to destroy these guys. We've got BB in there's grass. I'm just going to mark the Rico instead, because he is the main problem. He's the one with all the range. Mortis is probably going to collapse onto us here. It's like Edgar has got super, but once he jumps, okay, that was a really bad showing right there. I'll just uninstall the game if I was that Edgar right now. We should be able to kill Mortis right there. Did have to use my super again because I had no ammo, but this should be Rico down pretty much right here. We're getting close to super, so hopefully Poco can pass it across. This should be a goal right here. Really nice goal from him. So that's going to be the 4th best gear in the game. Let's hop into number 3. Alright guys, so jumping into the 3rd best gear in the game right now, we have the damage gears. So again, before actually like a month ago, I'd have put damage gear at number 2, but there has been a new gear as triumphed it. Don't want to ruin it just yet, but damage gear, basically a really strong gear. You're going to get value out of this gear pretty much on every single brawler, pretty much on every single map in the game. It's super strong, versatile. As I said, it's going to be good on every single brawler. It's best on brawlers which have a lot of damage, so brawlers with high damage, of course, like Piper, for example. Byron, you can get a lot of value because you can also get that extra damage with the healing, and you can get obviously damaging the opponents as well. And also with the damage gear, you get extra value with brawlers with their super. So even Tara, for example, I tested it out in a training cave. I didn't actually believe it, but with Tara's super, if your damage gear is activated, you get an extra bit of damage as well. It's not really game changing. I think it's like an extra 200 damage, but literally every single brawler that has like a damaging super, I believe the damage gear does give you that extra damage, which is pretty nice, because of course you're going to get even more value out of the gears. So I think there's a few brawlers where this isn't actually correct on. There will be a few scenarios, but brawlers like Cole, for example, a lot of people didn't even realize that the damage gear gives you extra damage with your super, which is kind of crazy. So on Cole, of course, it's going to be absolutely insane. On, you know, Spike, for example, Bonnie, I use the damage gear on a lot because you're going to be half HP quite a lot with her, and she doesn't really have the most damage as a long range sniper in comparison to other brawlers, so giving her that extra damage as well is going to be really nice. But overall, I feel like it's a really strong gear. So for me, the only way I won't really use the damage gear in a competitive setting is on these really grassy maps. So this is probably a bad example to show it on, because on this map I would prefer to use the speed and the vision gear, just because speed, you're gonna just be whizzing around the map so quickly, and the vision gear is gonna allow you to counter the speed gear and also just see where the enemies are. So I won't really use damage in a competitive setting here, but you can still get away with it, especially on Power League. Like, there's just no way that you're gonna have the perfect build for every single brawler in the game right now, and you know, I've spent so much money on the game and I've nowhere near got that kind of scenarios. So competitively speaking, it's going to be not the damage gear on these type of maps, but again, I've got damage gear on pretty much every single brawler, so I'm pretty good right now. So just going to use my super right here. I think I used it a little bit preemptively on the ball, but that should be golden. We're going to win this game, so that's going to be the third best gear in the game right now. Let's hop into number 2. Okay guys, so jumping into the second best gear in the game right now, it is the vision gear. So you can see already just how strong the vision gear is. I know exactly where this buzz is straight away with a couple of shots, and that's why it is just such a strong gear right now, especially on those grassy maps. So if you would have spoke to me like a month ago, I would have said that vision gear was one of the worst gears inside of a game. But as time has gone on and people have learned how to use the vision gear, myself included, it has to be one of the strongest gears inside of a game, just because of how hard it counters brawlers inside of bushes. So you guys probably know, like, being inside of a bush is one of the most OP things inside of a game right now, just because you get that extra speed. Like, predominantly people use the speed gear in bushes, so it can be really annoying, you know, those brawlers that are incredibly strong with speed gear, you know, like Sandy, like Ems, Tara. There's multiple brawlers that just completely overwhelm you with a speed gear. The vision gear is really going to help you combat that, because it allows you to scout the grass a lot easier. You're going to win your matchup a lot easier as well. It's going to allow your teammates to help pinch you a lot easier. Literally everything about the vision gear is just so strong right now. So the only time I wouldn't use the vision gear on is, of course, maps that don't have a lot of grass on. So there's a couple of maps in the game which I've already covered on a previous video, but I'll go ahead and link it just in case you missed out, and I really covered the vision gear in depth in that video. But of course, there's a few maps in the game where vision gear you're not really going to get a lot of value out of, just because you pretty much know where the enemies are at all times. You know, like Shooting Star, for example, you wouldn't really need the vision gear there, because you pretty much know, unless you're just completely blind, where the enemies are going to be at. Of course, there's a few scenarios as well where you just use the vision gear no matter what, like Brawlers Leon. You know, got to counter so ridiculously hard with the vision gear on, especially if you're using like a chip brawler. You know, they're not going to be able to move whatsoever. Sandy as well. But yeah, just falling in love with the vision gear right now. So the best brawlers for this gear, the likes of Lola, Pam, 8-Bit, Jean, Spike. Trying to think of some other brawlers top of my head. Just literally any brawler, like Bo as well. Carl, I've been using a vision gear on. Any brawler that has multiple shots per ammo, you're going to get so much value out of the vision gears. So it looks like the Buzz is probably going to double stun me right here, and it's not looking very likely that we're going to get the dub here. Unfortunately, I'm using the wrong star power as well, and it's kind of screwed me over in a lot of these scenarios. So hoping with 6 seconds left, we should be able to get this Mortis down in time. I'm going to throw my turret over onto the Stu as well, because it will tank a lot of my damage. As I said, I'm using the wrong star power as well, which isn't really helping me, but Mortis should be able to score that one in. So that's going to be the second best gear in the game right now. Let's hop into number 1. Alright guys, so jumping into the best gear in the game right now, we have this speed gear. Let me know what you think of my list in the comment section below already. Like, I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree, but I feel like speed gear is the strongest gear just because it allows you to collapse onto enemies so easily, especially with brawlers like Ems, for example. She's so incredibly broken with the speed gear, guys. You probably know that already. Like sneaky fields, for example, you can easily just burst onto opponents with the speed gear, spam your attacks, you're going to win so easily. So yeah, just absolutely, I wouldn't really say hate this gear, but it's changed the meta a lot. It's made the game so much faster, and you guys might really like that, but I feel like in some ways it's kind of ruined a lot of metas. But as time has gone on, you've kind of gotten used to the meta overall. But it's definitely ruined brawlers like Ems, for example, where it can be so hard to get out of her main attack. She can just deal so much damage if you've got this really grassy map like Sneaky Fields. So you've got to be insanely careful when you're facing off against them. So if you're wondering the best brawlers to use the speed gear on, of course, there's select brawlers that are going to be even better than other brawlers with speed gear on. So that's going to be brawlers like Sandy, Tara, Ems. I've already explained this before. You know, tanks are going to really benefit out of speed because they need to be up close and personal, so it's going to allow them to get closer and much easier. I'm trying to think of other brawlers as well. Pretty much just every single brawler, really, because it's going to help you dodge easier, obviously hit shots easier. You know, if you're in the mid on a map like Hard Rock Mine, speed's going to allow you to really run around that mid a lot easier. I just feel like the speed gear is irreplaceable on any grassy map. You definitely need it equipped. So if you guys are looking to pretty much well, max out your brawlers as much as possible, whenever there's like a opportunity to buy some gears in the shop, I do make sure I buy the speed gears because I want everyone to have the speedy gear as much as possible, like max that out as quickly as possible, especially if I want to get that master's rank. So we should be able to finish off the game right here. Searchy's going to go in on the Barley. Barley's going to use his super, but that's going to be the final goal right there. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know what you think of my ranking in the comment section below. And tomorrow's video is going to be a banger. It's going to be a video about rebalancing the meta. Probably going to go through every single brawler, giving you guys like an idea on how to rebalance these brawlers. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.